talking about the DYU R1 electric bike, which is a thin tire commuter bike meant for like city riding and other things like that. I will start with the things I liked about the bike. So what I like about the bike is that the seat post is the battery. So you can actually just take the seat post out, take it up to your apartment or your job and charge it there and then lock up the bike somewhere else. Makes it a lot easier if you're living like in New York City or somewhere like that where you can't just be hauling a bike around. Maybe you don't have a garage. That definitely makes it more difficult, but really cool feature of the bike. And you know, the seat post is pretty lightweight as well. So it's not like you're lugging around this huge thing like a bike. My favorite part about this bike is that it's really lightweight. So it's about 45.5 pounds. And if that sounds like a lot to you, it's probably because you've never had an e-bike, but I've had two 20-inch fat tire bikes now and they are heavy. They're about 65 pounds and that 20-pound difference really matters. It's so much easier to throw this bike around, get it into a car, lift it up the stairs. I was so much happier to be able to actually like put it over a curb a little bit when I needed to lift it up. It was just so much easier and I really didn't even think it was 45 pounds. I thought it was closer to 30, which is great. Now I do think this bike is very like cubicle friendly and that it's very kind of sleek looking. It comes in a couple of different colors that are cool and I wouldn't mind taking it into my office and kind of just leaning against my cubicle. I don't feel like it's as sort of big and intrusive as like a big electric bike with a lot of different features. So I think this bike is really good for what it's good for, which is commuting and living in a big city or a small city. It does take about 3 to 4 hours to charge. So, you know, the flip side of that is the range isn't as long, but you can, in theory, you could take it into work with you, charge, and then by lunchtime you'll have, you know, a fully charged battery, which is pretty cool. Now I'm gonna talk about what I didn't like about the bike. So I was pretty frustrated when I first got it because I opened up the box, I took everything out, there was 0 instructions, no QR code to a website to show me how to put it together. I've put together, you know, a couple of different electric bikes and electric vehicles now, and this one was by far the most frustrating because there was no instructions in the box, nothing on the website that I could find, and we ended up just kind of figuring it out, but it was really frustrating and just kind of not a good start to the bike. I was pretty frustrated with it in the beginning. As with most electric bikes, the stock seat is just terrible. I rode for about an hour at first and I absolutely hated the seat. I would definitely recommend switching the seat out and just go ahead and order a better seat. I like the Cloud9 ones. I will link one in the description below that you could check out, but you're not gonna wanna keep the stock seat. It was just terrible. According to the website, the DYU e-bike goes about 15 miles an hour, so I got it up to 15 miles an hour and I decided to see how fast I could actually get it. And I pedaled as fast as I could and I got it to 19 miles an hour, but I was on a flat surface. Typically you're gonna be cruising anywhere between like 10 and 15 miles an hour, most likely. I couldn't decide if these things were a pro or a con, so I'm just gonna give you these features and you can decide on your own for your unique situation. So the first one is that it's not a throttle bike. So what that means is usually you would have like a thumb throttle or a twist throttle that would, you know, power the bike for you. This is only pedal assist. So there's nothing going on up here. You just have to pedal to make the bike move and it assists you in pedaling faster basically. So, you know, it's better because it's more simple. Like you could give anyone this bike and they would know how to use it because they already know how to ride a bike probably. So you want to just kind of, you know, keep that in mind. It's easy to pedal and everything. It's not necessarily a con, but not really a pro either. Just kind of depends on the experience you're looking for. On the same note, these are just regular bike tires. They're not fat tires. So if you are commuting in a city, you most likely won't care. I did ride this in the dirt and it was fine. You know, packed dirt, it wasn't really a big deal. I kind of thought it would be harder to ride, but I really didn't have any problems and I never fell off or anything like that. So I think as long as you're using it for pavement, asphalt, you know, the typical city terrain, you won't have a problem with it, even if you need to go in dirt for a little bit. So my last comment is on the seat post. So it does require a key to adjust the seat. So when we first got this bike, we didn't adjust the seat before we took it for a ride. And I got there and I was like, oh, the seat is way too low. So we had to go back and get the seat key. So just something to keep in mind. The seat post also, you know, if you're taking it in and out because you're taking it to your apartment to charge it and bringing it back, you kind of have to figure out every time you put it back where the seat goes. You know, it's usually around, you know, your hip height, but I would probably like mark the seat post so I didn't have to figure it out every single time, but I would just put like some white marker on it or something so you know where it is and you don't have to fiddle with it. I was definitely not sure about this bike when I first got it, given that there was no instructions to put it together anywhere. I wasn't a huge fan, but once I started riding it, I realized that the pedal assist is actually pretty good, and the lightweight and compact nature of this bike makes it really easy to ride. I feel comfortable putting anyone on it. I think it'd be great if you're commuting in a city. If you're riding the bus, you know, you're probably not gonna wanna lift a 65-pound bike onto the bus bike rack. This one would be great for that, and I really think if you lived in a big city, you'd appreciate how lightweight it is and the fact that you can take the seat post out. This DYU e-bike is just about $1,000, and I think it's a great commuter bike. Definitely if you're in a city and you're taking it from home to work, it's a great use case for it. If you have any questions or comments, you can drop them below and I will do my best to answer them. We will also link to the DYU website so you can see it, but for just about $1,000, it's a pretty solid choice for commuting, and I think you'll definitely be happy with it as long as you get a different seat. Thanks for watching.